Hey guys, it's Stephanie here and I am a flower fanatic. So in this video, I wanted to highlight some of the most reliable hydrangeas that I am discovering in my area. So before we start talking about these hydrangeas, I want to give you a little history of what's going on in my climate. So we've been in a severe drought for almost 3 years. I know I keep talking about it, but it's important because plants that you put in your ground got to be able to handle this kind of weather. What I mean is we're not getting a lot of moisture in the winter. We rely on that. We need a lot of snow to get us through the summer because it doesn't rain a lot. It gets 100 degrees, super hot, super dry. So for the past 3 or 4 winters, we just haven't been getting enough snow like we normally need. I also needed to add another factor. So we had a really late frost. It was in the beginning of June, almost a week into it, maybe June 7th. And normally our last frost date is May 15th. I have to say I was really grateful for that late frost because we need all the moisture we can get. We need all of the temperatures to stay cool for as long as they possibly can. But this also affected, I think, a lot of my hydrangeas. So I have about 3 of my paniculata hydrangeas that have no buds on them. It can kind of be tricky sometimes to diagnose a problem. I actually have been walking around and asking experts about why they might not be budding, and a lot of them just can't really give me an answer. They say maybe a little bit more fertilizer, which I have done plenty of fertilizer. I did some in the spring, but I didn't overdo it. I've just put some plant tone and then I put some compost, and that was it. Another thing that could cause maybe your blooms not to bud is the wrong location, not enough sunlight. Now that I talked about some of the reasons why they might not bud, I'm gonna go ahead and recommend the ones that it seems like no matter what is going on in my climate, they still bloom. I've been going around all my neighborhoods and I have noticed that everybody is having the same issue with their hydrangeas. But there is this one reliable one that I'm excited to talk to you about. Now that I see that it does well every single year, I actually just barely bought one and I'm gonna definitely be putting it in my ground. So is it smart to be buying hydrangeas in my climate? No, it's not. It's not smart, but I love them so much. So I'm just gonna have to baby them a little bit more in hand water, especially in winter if it's dry. But I do have to add that with these 3 that I'm showing you, I really haven't had to do much more. Maybe a little bit more water. Some of the ones on my west facing wall, I've actually done nothing. It just does its automatic watering about twice a week and that's it. First one I'm gonna cover is my Incredible hydrangea. My Limelight's actually doing really good, so I'm gonna show you that one, and then I will show you the Firelight hydrangea. One of my favorites, that's the one that I bought, so let's go take a look at them. I know I've already highlighted this a million times. Can you tell I'm really in love with it? It's actually turning a lime green now, which is really cool. So it starts out like this white color and then it turns into this, but it doesn't burn. So it stays like this all the way into fall. So it provides a lot of interest for a very long time. So it is on my west side, but gets shade. It gets about 4 hours of that afternoon sun. But this one has been one of my most reliable hydrangeas. So everybody I know that has one of these, they're doing really good. So definitely plant one of these. There's not much else I could say about it. It gets tall, as you can see, it's about 5 feet tall, 4 feet wide, and it's gonna get a little bit more bushy over the years. I love when it turns to this lime green color, but all I did with this was give it a little plant tone in the spring, put down some mulch. I didn't actually put a lot of compost. They've been in the ground for about 3 years now and are just super happy. I cannot tell you how grateful I am for this hydrangea. It's been so awesome. I would recommend this almost more than any of the hydrangeas I have in my yard. I cannot believe how many panicles are on it this year. It's so beautiful, look at that. And it's just these will get bigger and bigger the more mature it gets. It's only been in the ground for about 3 years and I've amended this soil. So we have clay soil. I wanna show you what it looks like. But I've put so much compost over the years and this mulch, and it's just become a lot more loamy, so it drains a lot better, has more airflow, and I think that's really helping. This is in the sun all day long, so 8+ hours. We actually set a record this year of having the most consecutive days of 100+ temp degrees. I just didn't care, but gosh, they look like they have little pearls in the center. How cute is that? I just noticed that for the first time. So all the way until fall, these buds, they never start to burn. You just got to make sure you water them a lot. So I have watered them a little bit when I started to see the leaves droop a little bit. It's gonna get nice and big. I cannot wait. These are just nice for all season color because in the fall they'll start to turn a soft pink. Sometimes that doesn't happen in my climate. It just doesn't have a long enough time before it freezes, but maybe this year will be a little bit different. This is the Firelight that I've been excited to show you. Every year I drive by and it has lots of blooms. It actually has a few less blooms this year than it normally does, but you can see here it's still pretty loaded. It gets really nice and big. Next to my hand, these panicles are huge. This video doesn't always do it justice. This is on the north side, so it's a little bit shorter than the one on the west side that I'm going to show you. So right here, this is what I'm talking about. Look at those lovely blooms. They're absolutely gorgeous. She cuts it down every single year. So right here, it's got a little iron deficiency, so you need to add some iron, but she cuts it down every single year. It's been in the ground for 6 years, and then it keeps it a more manageable size, but they do get 6 to 8 feet tall and wide and have a beautiful fall vibrant red color. So I know I only showed you the hydrangeas that are doing really well. Oh, there's my neighbor Glenn, my gardening friend Glenn. Okay, I know that I showed you the ones that are doing really well, but the ones that don't have any buds this year are my Quickfire. So if you're wondering about that, those are one of the earliest buds to come out. These are my other ones. This is the Strawberry Sundae hydrangea. So the plant's looking super healthy, but not one bud. So I'm just gonna go ahead and give these away also and let some other gardeners be frustrated with them. I'm just gonna stick with those Firelights and the ones that I see that are doing well. There's another one over here. Let's take a look at it real quick. The other one right here too. So it looks healthy. But since those Firelights are just so reliable year after year, I'm gonna go ahead and put those in here. It's kind of hard to get rid of these. I don't have the patience to try and let something grow and have it not do well. I just want to put something here I know is gonna have blooms, and I think that Firelight's just gonna thrive right here. Even as I say that I'm gonna replace them with some of those Firelights, I'm still struggling because I hate wasting the money. I'm feeling kind of bad. So I'm having this debate in my head. I think if I'm just a little bit more patient, maybe in 3 years, it will turn out to be beautiful and it will be just fine. And then I could kind of protect it if we get one of those late spring freezes, or I could just water it in the winter if that's the issue. At the same time, I'm telling myself, how am I gonna get rid of these hydrangeas? Put the new Firelight ones in there without my husband seeing. I'm just gonna have to make sure he doesn't see this video. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and leave them in the ground for a month or two and see if I change my mind and I decide that I'm more patient. I try every year to be more patient in gardening and it doesn't seem to change. I did buy a Firelight that I'm gonna put in one of my flower beds and see how that does maybe next year. I think now that I've talked to you guys, and I think maybe I'm gonna go ahead and keep these ones in here and just do that protection in the late spring if we have a late frost. Full circle. I just went full circle there. I hope you guys like these suggestions for some hydrangeas to put in your own yard. I hope you found this video helpful and informative and useful, especially if you're one of those hydrangea lovers and are growing them, even if they may be a little bit more difficult wherever you live. Have a great day gardening, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.